What's going on YouTube? Johnny here again today, and I'm going to be bringing you a new video for the IS300. That is right, we're going to get back to working on this. Haven't really had time to work on it lately with all the BRZ build going on, having to fix that, prep it, get little parts for it that I needed to finish it up. And now I'm able to work on my personal car. I finally got the fan assembly. That was the part that was missing. So actually I have it over here in a box if you guys want to check this out. Right in here. So now we finally have that, and possibly another thing that we're going to be doing is actually working on some body work for example, the hood. They are used parts, they're parts that I ordered from Japan, so they have some imperfections. For example, we got some clear coat missing here. We got some scratches over here in this area of the hood, and then even here towards the front there's like another scratch that I'm gonna have to make sure to get out. And over here there's actually a dent. So little things like that, they're not too difficult to fix. You just gotta sand them down, probably put some Bondo putty if the hole's too big, but that's not gonna need any Bondo. Probably just some little putty, some surfacer to kind of get the dent to not show up anymore. And then over here on the fenders, this fender seems to be in really good condition. I don't know why they circled that. That's fine. Just here on this little edge, looks like the previous owner had a little scuff going on there, so I'm gonna have to fix that. And pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get started on removing this carbon fiber hood, because I want to be able to test fit all these parts to just make sure that everything over here on my end is actually straight and is gonna fit perfectly. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, the hood is now bolted on, and it looks like I won't be needing this anymore, which is a relief because I use this quite a bit. But the hood that I bought from Japan actually came with its own stand, so that's pretty cool that they come on the hood, and I won't be needing that wood piece anymore. Another cool thing to note is look what it says on the hood. That's pretty cool to have a bunch of random JDM stickers on there, which is probably from a shop in Japan. Pretty cool, and it's still an original hood, even though it has that sticker on there. It may seem like that they already took it to a body shop or something, or it's an aftermarket one, but it's not. It still says Toyota on it, so it's cool to know that you have a OEM, an actual OEM part. They always fit a lot better and they're a lot better quality. So I haven't installed the hinge on this, so here's where the hood hinge should go. So I'm going to need to install that to see if it actually lines up perfectly with the hood. If not, we have to adjust a little bit. We have to adjust the bolts on the hood to straighten it out and make sure that it clicks nice and softly every single time we close it. So we're going to do that. That's one of the major steps that you do when putting a car back together like this, because you want to make sure that everything lines up and that everything works perfectly as it should. Because if it's not lining up and it's getting forced and you go to open the hood with the hood hinge on the inside, and it's too tight or something, it's not going to open the hood, and you're just going to be having issues. You're going to have to be smacking on the hood to get it open, and it's not something we want. We want it to work like it did when it came out from the factory. So we're going to have to be able to, you know, adjust it a little bit, get all the measurements done right, so that way it just clicks in, and it's really easy to lock back up. So let's do that. All right, now that we got the latch right here lined up properly with the hood, we can bring the hood down. It lines up perfectly. And I'm gonna show you guys a little example. What you want to do is pay attention to this part of the hood. When it's coming down, you want it to make sure that it lines up with this perfectly, and it's not smacking on this and then sliding in. You want it to line up good. So let's go ahead and bring it down. It's gonna get a little dark. Go ahead and look under here. This is what you want. You want this to line up perfectly with this. That way when you bring it down, it just clicks in. And that way, you know, you're not smacking, you're not pushing or forcing the hood anywhere towards the left or the right. But just to make sure we have the perfect fitment, we're gonna go ahead and install the fenders. All right, so let's go ahead off and install these fenders just to make sure we can get an accurate measurement for the hood and the latch. All right, now that you have the fenders on there, what you want to do is go ahead and bolt them on to where you think is going to be the best spot. For example, here, looks like everything lined up really good, and you guys can see that it's in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and center all of these bolts. There's just the front one and the back one for now. That way I can make sure that the fenders aren't going to move when I'm bringing down the hood and checking fitment to make sure that, you know, everything lines up perfectly, that it's not overlapping, that it's not too spread out. What you want is to have that same OEM, you know, gap in between the fender and the hood. So it's adjustable. You just got to mess with it until you get it right. Then after you're happy with it, that's how it's going to go on later on. So let's go ahead and do that. When you're gonna bring the hood down, you want to make sure you do it nice and slowly, because if they're overlapping, you can damage your fenders or the hood. So go ahead and take it nice and slow. Make sure you check that nothing is overlapping.
Three, two, one.
All right, as you guys can see, the gap in between the fenders and the hood isn't perfect just yet, but you have to remember that everything is adjustable. You have enough room to wiggle, you have enough wiggle room to move around the fenders, move around the hood. You can adjust the latch, the hood latch. You can actually move it down, move it, wherever you need to do. And then on the core support, right underneath here, there's actually little rubber pieces that you can twist and kind of get your hood adjusted properly. That way everything's the same level and has the same gap. So it's just a matter of patience and just making sure you line it up as best as you can. So obviously if it's too big of a gap or the fenders are actually touching with the hood, it's gonna look bad, and that's what we don't want. We want it to look like it was from factory. So we want to go ahead and adjust it properly, the way that you can't tell if the car was fixed before or not. So far it's looking good. Looks like this is just me test fitting it very first try. Haven't adjusted anything, so it looks like it's coming out pretty good.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost. We're reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are.
All right, now that we have all of that stuff situated and we have an idea of how it's gonna go, the test fit is over. Obviously now what we have to do is go ahead and take it all apart and get it ready for paint and all that other stuff, but we're not gonna do that quite yet because I still need to install this thing right here. This is the fan assembly, which needs to go in there, but I have to remove this hose to be able to get it in there. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. We are now finished with what we had to do today. We just wanted to test fit the parts and go ahead and install the radiator fan shroud. Now, probably in the next episode, we're gonna go ahead and do some body work, you know, fix little scratches, little dents here and there. So that way when we paint, we can make sure that there's gonna be nothing that we should have fixed or something that we regret. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure I check everything properly. But for today, we are done. As you guys can see, it looks like we, did a lot of progress because the car looks complete now, finally. The only thing it's missing is the headlights, but I'm not gonna go ahead and test fit those yet because I don't want to go ahead and scratch them. When you're test fitting, sometimes you can scratch them and stuff like that. And these are actually really difficult to install because I have to bolt them onto the fender, so it's not necessary. As long as the bumper, the fender, and the hood all line up and you can see the headlight shape, it'll be good. It'll line up really good. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like. If you have any comments, post them down below. And you have a great day.